Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you are having a good one. So, I have another film I want to review from Disc 5 on the 50 Horror Classics box set here I have from Mill Creek Entertainment that I've been kind of working my way through the last few days. While I've had a kitchen renovation going on, I've been kind of sitting in here on a laptop and watching black and white movies. I love black and white horror. I do. This is a 1933 film called The Vampire Bat. And I've never seen this one before, just watched it, about an hour long, hour and 5 minutes, somewhere in there. And my boy Dwight Frye from Dracula, shows up in this. And I was kind of surprised, because I love Dwight Frye. He always brings a very eerie, creepy atmosphere to his scenes. He always steals the show. As soon as I heard his laugh and his voice, I knew that was Dwight Frye. I looked it up on IMDb, and it was. It's good to see him in here. He's not a main character or anything. He's kind of like one of the side characters in the story. Now, what is The Vampire Bat about? So it's essentially about a group of gentlemen, and we kind of follow one main guy, who are dealing with a lot of bodies showing up everywhere that kind of induce the idea that maybe there's some vampirism going on here. They're being drained of their blood, bites on the neck, that kind of thing. At least I think they mentioned bites on the neck. I'm pretty sure they did. I zone out sometimes. It's a lot of information to take in with these old black and white films. They kind of throw story beat after story beat really fast and don't really give it enough time to settle in sometimes. I also have to watch some of these over multiple days depending on what's going on that particular day. This is one of those ones I had to divide up over a couple of days, just because I started watching it, and then I had to stop. The guys that were doing the renovation left, and I went back to bed, because I needed sleep. So, I picked it up today, and I finished it. Anyway, The Vampire Bat is mostly about this situation, this possible vampirism going on. And, I like our main actor. I like pretty much everybody in the film's acting-wise. A lot of the people, of course, suspect that Dwight Frye, being a nutcase in this film, is possibly a vampire. I really enjoyed his performance. He's always the standout. For me, in Dracula, he has the scariest scene in the movie. I love Bela Lugosi. He's phenomenal in the film. I think everybody's really solid there in that movie, from the old 1931 movie. But I think that Dwight Frye has the scariest scene in that film, from the laugh at the bottom of the staircase in that boat. It scares the hell out of me. Every time I watch that movie, it's my favorite scene from that film. And I think I mentioned that in my review that I did for this channel. I think Dracula was the first thing I reviewed on this channel when I started kind of rebooting the channel into just a straight-up horror review channel. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed this. I had quite a bit of time with it. It's not amazing, though. This is the thing. I had an enjoyable time with it. I didn't love it. There are some things about it, including the ending and the way the execution of the ending is, that kind of put me off. I didn't really like what they did with it. It just didn't resonate with me, which, you know, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It's a nice little creature feature, monster movie type of thing, but it's not amazing. You know, it's not really like this amazing, fantastic thing I really want to recommend to anybody outside of people who are already fans of black and white horror movies. If you haven't seen everything, this is worth checking out, because I haven't seen it before. It's relatively well made. Nothing too spectacular. It's got a nice little twist in there I liked on the idea of vampires. I thought that was pretty neat. There's a couple little story beats in there I'm a little confused on. I don't want to get into it because it's more of a spoiler-focused thing. And when I was looking at IMDb reviews, just to see the general consensus, not that I wanted to base my reviews off of that, but maybe some things I miss with old black and white movies, I like to kind of look at some of those ideas, some of the thoughts, the general consensus on what people think, because this has like a 4 out of 10 stars on IMDb, so I wanted to see what other people thought. And there were certain things people were mentioning, I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing, and they never talked about that again later on in the movie. And that seems like to be a consistent issue with some of the black and white films in this box set. Like I just recently reviewed Maniac, a 1934 film that was also apparently titled Sex Maniac. I reviewed that right before I reviewed this film that you're currently watching this video right now. And had the same situation there. I didn't understand a couple of little story beats that were just dropped off. I'm seeing that more and more in classic black and white horror that's not like Universal Monster stuff or Them or anything like that. So anyway, this movie's fine. I enjoyed it. It's decent. I don't really recommend it. I don't think you guys will really like it unless you're into black and white horror. If you're into that kind of thing, you might enjoy this a lot more than most people. But overall, I don't want to tell people like it's not Night of the Living Dead. It's not one of those absolute staples of classic film that still hold up today that you should check out, whether you're a classic horror fan or a newer, more modern horror fan. it's not one of those situations. It's just kind of like, it's not a staple, in my opinion. It's not a staple of the whole genre, you know? It's not a staple of its own subgenre of being kind of a monster movie or vampire movie. Anyway, The Vampire Bat, the 1933 film, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's fine. What would I rate this film on a 5-star basis? I'm really struggling with this because the film is a little dull at times, a little slow at times for an hour-long movie, which is basically an episode of a TV show nowadays. When it's not ad-filled, it doesn't really have fast pacing, which is kind of surprising me, but it also doesn't have enough time to really settle in the things story beat-wise, like I said. The editing's fine. Acting is really solid amongst the entire cast. No real standout characters aside from Dwight Frye. For me, if I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a very mixed bag for me, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I just one of the things I try to take into account when I review something and I do a rating on my scale of it, whether I really, really liked it, really, really loved it, hated it, anything like that, I try to take into the idea of mentioning whether, and really take into account, would it hold up better on a rewatch at some point? Even if I love the movie, would I think it'd do well with the surprises and everything on a rewatch? Not many films can do that when they're kind of focused on the plot twists, like the original Scream. Not many movies can pull that off. It has to be a very special film, a very special execution of a story, or kills, or anything like that. There has to be something to really draw you in multiple ways to really make it worth a rewatch, or make it hold up on a rewatch. I have many films I love that did not hold up as much on a rewatch. So anyway, when I take all that in, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't think it's going to do exceptionally well, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll probably like it less on a rewatch. I don't know. I really don't know, because it's got those slow beats in there. But overall, The Vampire Bat, I liked it. I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comment section down below about this movie. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think about all that down in the comments section? Let me know. I do want to keep working my way through this 50 Horror Classics box set here. I'm really enjoying these. I've watched a lot of these movies over the years. I've had this for like 10 years, and I've kind of worked my way through it. I wish it was still sold in stores so more people could pick it up. Because there are more blossoming horror fans out there that are liking this kind of thing, and I bought pretty much every Mill Creek horror box set and a couple of comedy box sets, a war box set. I bought a lot of their box sets, man, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I think I have the 80s one. I really like Mill Creek's stuff, even if it is public domain pretty much. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below, guys. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And did you like The Vampire Bat, or did you hate it? Is it fine? What do you think about it? Anyway, put your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and goodbye.